Hi, JD here, and I hope the heading of this particular Facebook live stream got your attention. Why I would sack the marketing manager for KFC if I was to get the job as CEO tomorrow. And I know that's a rather, sort of big statement, because I think most of us would probably say that KFC is a pretty good marketer, and they are. But guess what? They're going to have a lot of people going through Australian KFC stores today, and they're not collecting any data. Crazy stuff. And I actually got quite a bit of reaction from a post I did on the weekend about McDonald's. Let me just switch the camera around. That was me on Saturday outside McDonald's, and I was having a little bit of a sledge at them because my top heading of that particular Facebook Live was why I would sack the marketing manager of McDonald's if I was running McDonald's that day. And the reason is because McDonald's, if you do a Google search, has about 1.7 million people go through their restaurants in Australia every day. And guess what? They don't know who one of them is. They don't collect any data. So whilst of course they are a good marketer in the general sense of the term, because I did have a couple of people come back to me with comments and said, oh, JD, you're being a bit tough on McDonald's because they are a good marketer. Yes, they are. I never said they weren't. I said McDonald's were a good marketer, but where I think they are absolutely crazy is that they're letting 1.7 million people go through their restaurants today, if you can believe the Google numbers. But even if it's not 1.7, even if it was 1 million, whatever number of people they've got going through their restaurant today, they don't know who they are. It's nuts. It's crazy. And of course, the world that we live in, which is really, it should be data driven, just ask Amazon, you are leaving so much money on the table if you're not collecting data. Now, these guys, let me see, I think I've got Exhibit B up here. These guys are no different. They're just not collecting any data either. And I had one person come back to me and say, oh, look, it's with McDonald's, they actually collect data on McHappy Day. Apparently once a year when they have that promotion, they collect. No, we're talking about every single day. They're having 1.7 million people come to their dinner party every day and they don't know who they are. Now the thing is, they could either do it one of two ways. Either they could do it via text by up in their menu board giving you the chance to win a prize, and therefore you would text your details to be in the draw. That's one way of doing it. My view is that because that would probably exclude a lot of people who may be over 50, I would just have the good old name and address, name and phone number really, when it's all said and done, via the receipt. They give you a receipt these days when you go into most of these fast food places, and therefore they make you wait for a minute or two whilst whilst they make freshly your food. And why don't they have that as an entry form? Win a trip to Hawaii or Disneyland, or win $10,000, whatever it may be. Just give us your name, your email, and your cell number, your phone number. The reason the phone number is important is because you know and I know that email open rates are heading that way. And so therefore you're probably doing pretty well if you get a 15% open rate on your emails these days to a cold group. Whereas a text message, SMS, still is getting about 94% open rate within 3 minutes. I think I'd go for the 94% open rate if I had a choice of communications, email or text messages. I think I'm going to go for the one that might be 94% open rate in 3 minutes. I wanted to invite you, if you're interested in direct response marketing, which is very, very different from regular marketing that you might get from a marketing or advertising agency. Direct response is all about collecting data and then remarketing to it and having measurability and so forth attached to your offers. If you're interested in doing that, we have a live stream, a Facebook live stream like this coming up on Wednesday this week. That's Wednesday the 6th. Australian time, it'll be noon Queensland time. So if you're in Sydney or if you're in Melbourne, it would be 1 p.m. But Queensland time, it will be 12 noon. If you'd like to be reminded about half an hour beforehand that this is coming on, then just type below, please remind me, JD, okay? We'll private messenger you about half an hour out from the Facebook Live and just let you know it's coming up in half an hour's time. I know how busy we all are, and so therefore a lot of these times when you register for webinars and all this sort of stuff, you end up missing it because you've been too busy at the time. If you'd just like a reminder, then we'll remind you. So therefore just put in below, JD would like a reminder, but essentially we'll be going live like this, but with a proper presentation in terms of great content on direct response marketing with a particular emphasis on what you're watching right here, Facebook Live, and a particular emphasis just on social media advertising. And to tease you so that you might think about coming along to this, let me just see if I can bring up on my computer screen here a campaign that we've run recently, which is Broken Records for a client on Facebook. And let me just swing the camera around here so you can see this. This happens to be a kitchen manufacturer, okay? So therefore these guys renovate kitchens. and they are pretty happy with the results of this particular campaign. Let me just increase. Give me a second. I'll just bring that back again. I'm sorry for dodgy camera work here. I'm going to be installing a system probably later today where I'll just go automatically to screenshots. So I'm sorry that I'm having to turn the camera around at the moment. Now, you'll see here on your screen, this was a kitchen renovation company. We put this Facebook ad together. You'll see that there's a good amount of copy above the pictures of the two kitchens. And this is what we do to create an avalanche of leads. So, okay, so you'll see here that what we're saying is that if the copy up here says, if you're tired of your old-fashioned kitchen, imagine having a makeover you could enjoy with a $10,000 prize. Simply take 15 seconds, so we don't make it sound like it's onerous, for you to vote for your favourite kitchen. Do you like kitchen A or do you like kitchen B? Now, where do you think this ad goes out to? This goes out to, geographically, the older suburbs that have older homes, okay? Because let's face it, if you've just moved into a new home, I don't think you want to win a new kitchen. And so what we're saying, imagine winning a $10,000 brand new kitchen makeover. Prestige Kitchens, name of the company, has 2 new incredible kitchen designs, and we want to get feedback on which one is the most popular. So simply vote for your favourite kitchen. Is it A or is it B? And then, as you can see at the bottom of the page there, we're saying to them, you can have the chance to win $10,000 just by voting for your favourite kitchen. Now, what happens is that when somebody who's got an old, ugly kitchen decides to click onto that, they go through to a landing page. That landing page says you've got the chance to win the $10,000. Simply click here for voting A, click here for voting B, and then give us your details. And you'll notice that what we do there, I'll just bring my camera down a little bit. What we do is that we actually say to them, not only would you give us your name and details, contact details, but also here, you might not be able to read it, but it basically says, how old is your kitchen? And the reason that we're asking them how old is their kitchen is because do you think that if they've got a kitchen that might be 25 years old, that we're going to probably put them on the high priority list compared to someone if they said we've only got a kitchen that's 12 years old. Most of the people who this would be targeted at would have a kitchen that was at least 15 or 20 years old and would love a new kitchen. What are we doing there? By actually asking someone to vote for their favourite kitchen design, and we're zeroing in the ads, Facebook, into geographic regions where there's older homes, we're getting all of those people with old kitchens to glow in the dark. They're putting their hand up going, I've got an old kitchen, that's why I want to win the new one. Now you're sitting there thinking, well, yeah, but where do we get the $10,000 from? You don't have to. I'm going to show you on Wednesday that we can give you that $10,000 prize for $450. We have an association with the insurance company that looks after all of the big prizes for game shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Deal or No Deal, and none of those TV shows put together the prizes. That's all put together by an insurance company. And so therefore we've had a relationship with this particular large insurance company for many, many years. We've given away $1 million, well, a chance to win $1 million if you stay at this resort, a chance to win $500,000 if you buy this car this weekend. It's stunt mentality at its very best, because if you think about adding any incentive to a contest, then nothing matches cash. Okay, so therefore we do basically provide a lot of our clients with the opportunity to give away big cash prizes. In this instance, it's a $10,000 makeover kitchen, but in a lot of instances it could just be $10,000. We can show you how you can get that $10,000 prize that you can use on Facebook or Instagram or any social media for that matter for $450. And how it works, you might be thinking, hang on, how do we get $10,000 for $450? I'll tell you how. Basically what happens in this particular instance with the kitchen renovation company, at the end of the 1 week promotion, and they run a short one because they want to contact all the people who didn't win and offer them a kitchen, of course. They've already put their hand up and said, I want to win a kitchen, so you've got to make that contest online pretty quick so that they, in a week's time, they either win it or not. And of course, as you know, 99% of people won't be winning it, but they're the people that will get a phone call and text follow-up and email from the kitchen company saying, look, you didn't win the prize, but you've identified yourself as really wanting a kitchen. Let us show you how we can actually give you a finance program, we can look after you, we can come in and actually measure it up and give you a free, no obligation quote, because you obviously want a kitchen. So therefore, if you're interested in knowing how to do this, which we call avalanche lead generation through Facebook advertising, then you might like to type below, yes, I'd like to know I'd like to get a reminder. JD, I'd like to get a reminder, and what we'll do is half an hour out from when launching at noon, Queensland time this Wednesday the 6th, we'll just send you a private messenger and tell you that we're coming on at noon, so at least you won't miss it. With this particular Facebook Live, why am I doing it? Of course, to give out samples of what we do in the direct response world, but of course, hoping that you'll love what you see, and then you might decide to do, one of our programs. And so the one on Wednesday, we probably won't be leading up to my Facebook page. We'll probably be pulling that down. The reason why is I'm going to make a special offer. And when you make these special offers, you like to condense them to that particular show. So if you really do want to learn how to use Facebook and get avalanche leads, and you'd like to know how to get a $10,000 prize to actually help facilitate the lead generation for $450, 10 grand for $450. I think every day of the week people would be putting their hand up going, yeah, JD, I would like that. Give me $10,000 as a prize lure that I can use to get lots of people onto my website or my landing page or whatever it may be, and I'll pay $450 every time. So the thing is that in this day and age, as people are scrolling down through Facebook, yes, you need to have a pattern interrupt. And if you've got a pattern interrupt for your business where it gives them the opportunity to win something like $10,000 in cash or $10,000 worth of your product, there's a pretty good chance that when they're scrolling, they might stop there. Now, will you get the odd prize pig, we call them? In other words, a bit of collateral damage when you're giving away prizes? Of course. But if you get 100 responses instead of what you normally might have got, which is 5 or 6 or 7, I think you can put up with 10 prize pigs. So, in any of these big prize promotions, yes, you will get the odd person that will be entering that doesn't fall into your target audience. Facebook is good, but it's not perfect. But nonetheless, you're going to get many, 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 many more responses than I think if you just had a picture of your product. I'll leave it at that, but this coming Wednesday the 6th at 12 noon, we'll be going, Queensland, 12 noon time, so that's 1 p.m. New South Wales and Victoria. We'll be going live with this heavily themed social media avalanche marketing. So what we'll be doing is talking about not only how to use Facebook ads, but also how to use this thing here that you're seeing right now, Facebook Live. It is insane. We had a Facebook Live program similar to the one I'm going to be doing on Wednesday. We ran last Wednesday, fortnight ago. And it ran for about an hour and a quarter, and I made a pitch throughout that particular seminar that if people wanted to talk to me or one of my people, they could go to bookawowcall.com. And so therefore I just plugged that throughout the whole Facebook Live. I told them throughout the Facebook Live that if you're going to be doing Facebook Lives, you need 3 components. Number 1, good content, which I think you've probably got already from this one. Number 2, build engagement, and that's encouraging people to make comments below and emojis and all that sort of stuff. And just engagement for being fair dinkum. I mean, people will pick you if you're fake, okay? And number 3, make offers right throughout, and Facebook Live being what it is, I will have 3, 4 or 5 or 10, back to 7, back to 6, up to 8 watching the Facebook Live, but within 24 hours I'd normally have another 100, 150, 200, sometimes 300 or 400 people watching the recorded version. So don't worry too much about what your quantity of viewers are at the time. It's all about the number of views that you get and the quality of those views later on. And so therefore the point is that with Facebook Live there are certain tricks. There are certain components that you need to put into Facebook Live for it to work for you, and it can work so much better than a webinar. And boy, were we blown away, because 2 weeks ago when I made this special offer at our 6 p.m. Facebook Live on a Wednesday night, within 2 days we had a number of people book a phone call with myself and my crew. So they went to bookawowcall.com. He squeezes in very subtly again, bookawowcall.com, and within 48 hours, I don't know why that meant 48 hours, and that's not doing that to you, by the way, within 2 days, okay? Within 2 days, I could stop doing that. Within 2 days, we had $77,000 in sales. $77,000 in sales from a Facebook Live, which cost us nothing to put on, except we sent out about 5,000 text messages to members of our database. So we've got a database between 15 and 20,000, depending upon whether you count all of it or the best ones. And we selected 5,000 of those to remind them a minute into the Facebook Live. So therefore it went out a minute after I launched on Wednesday, 6 p.m. 2 weeks ago, and said, JD's now live. If you want to know about how to attract more customers online or offline to your business, then just click here. And we had an audience that was 140-ish, okay, and we kept about 83% of them towards the end, which is a pretty good retention rate, which meant that the quality of the content must have been okay. Give me a second. I'll just pat myself on the back. No one else would do it. Yeah, 2 days later, we had made $77,000 in sales, and there's still a couple of other prospects, so it might go up further than that, but at 77 grand in 2 days is a pretty good investment when the only cost to us were 5,000 text messages at around about, I don't know, 10 cents a text message. We send out 2 text messages together because we can't squeeze what we want into one text message. And as you know, one text message is, whatever it is, 160 something characters. So we send out 320 characters in our text message. It means it's a little bit longer but more compelling. So we'll pay 10 cents instead of 5 cents. So 5,000 times 10 cents was $500 that we spent on marketing the Facebook Live. and we brought home $77,000 in return within 2 days, with still a couple of people yet to talk to me, so therefore we might get one or two of them across the line, who knows. If you want to learn how to do this Facebook Live stuff, because it is a science, don't think that it's, just walking along the beach with, you see most people, doing that whole thing with the selfie. They got the selfie camera out and they're walking on the beach, or I don't know why they do it, but they're just really at the time just spreading love and goodwill. And don't get me wrong, I do want to spread love and goodwill. Okay, I can't fake that sincerity, all right? I'm here to make $1. But by the same token, if you're going to do Facebook Live as a business owner, then you want to do it to a particular structure. And we'll show you that structure, which, as I said, just to repeat the three components. Number one, great content like dough. Of course, you need great, good content. Number two, build engagement, because that's the favourite thing that Facebook wants. And then number three, make offers throughout, because you have to make them throughout. It's not like a webinar where you leave it to the end, because the people are coming in and out of Facebook Live. You know what it's like. They've got the attention span of a millennial, all right? And as far as the engagement's concerned, then you need to be encouraging people to make comments below or to share, because Facebook will then think that you are Johnny Carson or Bert Newton. They're going, wow, you've got people engaged. And if I've got people engaged, then what Facebook will do, their algorithms will pick that up and go, you know what, this guy's half clever. People are actually emojiing him. Is there such a word? I'm going to ask my wife. Is there such? No, I've just asked Gail, is there such a word as emojiing? Well, there is now, okay, so therefore I'll just be contacting people with the Webster's Dictionary and saying I've just dreamt it. I did come up with the question mark. I invented that years ago. I've stolen that from Austin Powers, of course. So the thing is that, if you get people to emoji, if you get people to actually make comments, if you get people to share, then Facebook loves that. They see that you're engaging, which means there's a good chance you're stopping people from going to TV or to radio or to newspapers, and they want to reward you for that. Thank you for, someone's just pressing some happy smiling emoji faces there. I appreciate it. So therefore, I think yesterday we had Simon Cryer on, and I was begging for some likes, because I'm not liked, okay, so therefore I was just feeling a little bit down, and I felt that I was unloved, and I said, is anyone could just give me a like. And I think Simon, who just likes to take the piss, was pressing like, there's all these little buttons come up on the screen all the time. But yes, so if Facebook sees that you are getting high engagement, then all of a sudden they treat you like a superstar. You are Jay Leno, and so therefore, or you're Oprah, and so therefore they're going to say, you know what, we'll send you and your program out to more people free of charge, because they want people on their platform who are engaging, because then that will stop people from watching TV, buying newspapers and listening to the radio. So that's why you've got to make your Facebook Live engaging, and there's a certain formula and tricks to that. Can you imagine how engaging your Facebook Live would be if you said, I'm going to give away the chance to win $10,000 to everyone who's watching this if they actually share it? Can you imagine what would happen to that? Now, I know it's a bit tricky, but because of our relationship with the insurance company that we've been dealing with for 15 years, then we can actually show you how to get a $10,000 prize and pay $450 for it. There's never, ever an easier way for you to actually get engagement and get traction on whatever you do, whether it's a webinar or Facebook Live or so forth. And look, webinars are still okay. I'm not saying that they're not. It's, like when someone bitched and moaned that I was complaining about McDonald's not collecting data, and that I'll get rid of their marketing manager tomorrow because they're not collecting data. He said, oh, well, JD, I like what you say most of the time, but you're not taking into account. By the way, I'm doing this not because I've got a Twitch. I'm actually pretending that I've got a keyboard, all right? So I'm pretending that I've got one of these, a keyboard, all right? So therefore, don't worry about me when I'm doing that there's something weird. So therefore, he's typing away saying to me, I think you're a bit tough on McDonald's because they are a good marketer, they upsell, they cross-sell. Yeah, they are, and so is KFC, and so is all the fast food chains. And Woolworths are a great marketer, and Bunnings are a great marketer, all of that. But guess what? None of these people collect data. There might be a couple of little VIP clubs along the way, but generally speaking, you can go to any supermarket in Australia and spend $300 and they don't know who you are. Nuts. Same thing with restaurants. You can go to any restaurant tonight in Australia, spend whatever you want, and they'll let you leave, and they'll never be able to contact you again. Whereas if they collected your data when you went to the ABC seafood restaurant tonight, they could send out a text message to you tomorrow or next week to say, look, you know what, Chef Pierre has a special, unbelievable lobster tail meal for two for just $68, and it's available only for the first in best dressed in the next 15 minutes, and guess what? Their restaurant would be packed within 15 minutes. They haven't had to waste money on sponsoring a football team or putting ads on the side of buses. They have just filled their restaurant within 15 minutes because they collected data and then they remarketed to them. And the easiest way for a restaurant to collect data, by the way, is would you like to win dinner for your friends at the end of the month, you and 6 others? Just fill in your name and contact details on this little slip of paper and give it to your waitress before you leave the restaurant. Then they've got a database. And we have a restaurant on our coaching program in Victoria, who is the only restaurant in the world that's full 364 nights a year, because they've collected the data, because we showed them how to do it, and every afternoon at about 3 o'clock, their 180-seat restaurant might only have 90 seats full. They sent out a text message, like I said a moment ago, from Chef Pierre saying, we've got a special deal tonight for $68. Would you like to actually take advantage of this? You better hurry up because it's only available first in, best dressed. Within 15 minutes, their seating has gone from 90 booked to 180 booked every single night of the year. There's never an empty seat. Can you imagine if you had a restaurant or any business where you could turn the tap on like that? Well, you can do it if you collect data, particularly their phone number, because text messages are so much more powerful than email, because email is going that way in terms of its open rate. Now, there's lots of online ways to do this as well, which I'll be covering on Wednesday, this Wednesday, Queensland time at 12 noon. So if you'd like to be notified, so that you just don't think, oh yeah, I'll watch that, this guy looks half interesting, and I love his dad jokes, because I'm sure you're saying that. If you'd like to be reminded about 20 or 30 minutes beforehand, then just type below, JD, I want a reminder on Wednesday, and at about 11:30 Queensland time, we will remind you, so you can go and get your McDonald's hamburger or your KFC or get a sandwich or whatever, and munch into that as I rabbit on about direct response marketing from 12 noon Queensland time Wednesday. I'm out of here. By the way, we do have a private coaching program, and that is for businesses that are probably doing $500,000 or more, because it's a few $1,000s a month. But when you are part of that, if you want to find out some details about that, then just go to bookawowcall.com. When you are part of my private coaching program, I actually personally put together what I think is a pretty incredible direct response marketing plan that goes about 25, 35 pages, where I map out, let me just do Exhibit B here, let me just show you this. These are just layouts that I put together recently for clients. You'll see these are layouts for web pages. What's this one here? It goes on and on and on. That's a layout for a brochure. We've got, let me see here, layouts for other web pages. It goes on and on and on. I've got here. Let me just show you. This is just by the way, this is just layouts in the last fortnight. In the last 2 weeks, I'm going to show you here. These are layouts just in the last 2 weeks that I put together for clients. I wish I could flick through these. There you go. These are all web page layouts. They're brochure layouts. They are catalogue layouts. All of that's done for clients who are in my private program. So if someone in my private program says to me, oh JD, look, we've got an expo coming up, can you show me the sort of brochure that we should be handing out at the expo? I'll put together a layout like that for them, customized to their business. It's not something that I've just gone into a template. This one here, for example, this happens to be for a company called Zero Harm. Lovely guy who owns this business, and he provides basically safety checks for retirement villages to make sure people are not going to zap themselves. And so he needed a new homepage, and this is what we put together for him. Okay. By the way, this is all done in the space of around about half an hour. Okay. I'm pretty quick with this sort of stuff because we've only designed about 4 gazillion web pages over the years, so therefore I'm pretty quick on putting this together. And in fact, what I'll be showing you on Wednesday is how this wizardry comes about. My view is, and I say this to my 6 millennial kids who probably only listen to half of it, if you're going to hang around with anyone, hang around with creative people. And I happen to consider myself as one of those, because you see, the thing is that for the most part, you can get any monkey to go out and do your digital marketing. Okay, there's only 4 million digital marketing companies out there. And the reason I'm saying digital marketing is because that's where the focus for most of us is these days. Now, if you look up digital marketing agencies in Google, there will be 4.8 gazillion of them out there. And regardless of whatever age the digital marketers are, they can be an old fart like me, or they can be young kids in 20s and what have you, they are pushing basically the same buttons. They all do much the same thing. My view is that if you don't have the right creative, if you don't have the right ideas behind the Facebook or the Instagram ads that you're putting out there, in other words, you don't have the right creative, you put shit in, you're going to get shit out. And I believe that what you need as a business owner is to hang around an environment which is creative, because it's great to have the communication tools out there. And of course, there's some tricks to how you get the best value out of Facebook in terms of booking for it. But the main thing is that knowing what to actually put in your ads and how to get the attention of people. Enough of that. If you're interested in private coaching, it is really for businesses that are probably doing 400 or 500k or more, because obviously a few $1,000s a month to them to get me as their private coach is probably not going to hurt them. If you're a startup, obviously you might like to consider one of our other programs which are less expensive. But if you are a bigger business doing $500,000 or more, guess what? The average wage for a PA in Australia at the moment is $54,000 for a secretary. You can get me for $3,000 a month multiplied by 12. 36. I think I know where you probably would get the best return on your investment. Not having a shot at the PAs, but I think you'd probably find that with the stuff I've just touched on today, you might get your money back like in a week or two from me compared to the 54 grand you might pay a year for the PA. If you're interested in anything like that, private coaching or anything that we do, my business is theinstituteofwow.com, and if you wanted to book a call with me or one of my people to talk about private coaching, it is book a wow call. That's W-O-W, wow, bookawowcall.com. All the best, guys, and if you'd like to enjoy Wednesday, 12 noon Queensland time, you want to get a reminder, just type below, JD, I want a reminder on Wednesday. And over and out. Have a good Monday.